We are going to start by opening up our TP3 file in 3D Office, which is just a free Topcon program you can get on the internet. We're going to start by exporting our AutoCAD drawing, which is basically going to give us a DWG or a DXF that we'll be able to open in Business Center. Go ahead and save that. Next, we're going to go to our project, export control points, and we're going to export a point file. So here I've got a couple of formats already created. So our first is going to be our control, which is going to be our point name, northing, easting, elevation, and description in a CSV. So this is what we call PNEZD, and that'll make a little bit more sense here in a few minutes. Our lat long height is just that, latitude, longitude, and height with the point name at the beginning, also in a CSV. And they also need to be in this order. So we'll start with our control. When I go to save it, I'm going to name it something real easy, like PNEZD. Go ahead and save that guy. And then we're going to export our latitudes and longitudes. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give it a name of lat long height. This is going to make it a lot easier when we go to import them. We know which one's which. Perfect. Now we're going to move over to Trimble Business Center. Next, we're going to open up Trimble Business Center and we're going to start a new project. We're going to go on ahead and select the units of measure that we're using. We'll be using US survey foot in this instance, but it could be international foot as well. Just make sure you know what units you're working in. Perfect. Next, we are going to bring in, just drag and drop our PNEZD file that we just created. And it's going to come up, should automatically recognize what it is, but point, northing, easting, elevation, code, control. It's important that we select control here. Going ahead and accept project definition. Next, we're going to bring in our latitude, longitudes. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to drag and drop. This is pretty important here. We're going to make sure that we're in global and not local. Point, latitude, longitude, height. We're going to go to the very end. Hit next until you get to the end. You're going to hit latitude and longitude and height, and we need these to be in degrees, minutes, seconds. So we're going to go ahead and hit import. Acknowledge, and then we are actually going to rename some points. All these points have the same name, so we can't have them have the same name. So we're going to go ahead and add a prefix. I usually just put an A at the beginning of it, and that way we have something different. So now it's going to come up with all of these points. So every one of these points has an A and then a corresponding point, which is just the number. So next, we're going to come up to the top here. We're going to go over to our Survey tab. We're going to go over to Site Calibration. Point List right here, the tab at the top. We're going to start selecting points. So every point with an A next to it is going to be our latitude, longitude, which is going to be our GNSS point. So in this situation, we're going to click A28. Then we're going to come up here and we're going to find point 28. And you're just going to keep doing that until we click every one of the points. So it looks like we have 6 points there. We're going to again hit compute. So what this did is a site calibration. So now we've got our horizontal and vertical residuals, and that's all within tolerance. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK. So now our site's technically calibrated. So we're now going to bring in our DWG file that we exported as well. It's going to come up and say that we have a bunch of warnings, which is okay. We're going to ignore those. It's just a file conversion issue. So we're going to go ahead and ignore the errors. So now we have our line work sitting in here as well. So now we have everything ready. This is all a good calibrated site with our line work. Next, we're going to go ahead and convert all of this information into something that's a little bit more usable. So for the next part, it all kind of depends on how your design was built. In this situation, I'm actually just going to create a surface real quick. So I'm going to turn all of my layers off. We have nothing, blank slate. We're actually going to come down, we're going to select our surface. I know this is the surface. So this is just a tin model, this is just triangles, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a surface off of that. So we just need to come over to our Surfaces tab. We're going to create a surface. We're going to call this Finish Grade, so we'll just call this FG Surface. And it doesn't, we're going to call this Work in Progress. Actually, let's call it Design. We're going to go on ahead and just select everything. So we're actually going to go over here and we're going to hit Select All. So we've got all of these triangles and we're going to hit Apply. So now what we've got is we're going to go ahead and turn that off. So we'll no longer see those lines, but now we have a 3D surface. So go ahead and turn on our layers again. Now we have a 3D surface, not just lines, but it's actually a 3D surface. No, I actually want to come down and turn that off. We don't need to see the lines. So we've got our 3D surface, we've got our line work. This is ready to export to a machine. So the final step to this process is getting it into a format that the machines are going to read. So we're going to go in ahead and come up to our Construction Data tab. And we are going to come over to Works Manager here, and we're going to create a project. And it's going to look for some accounts. We're actually going to not select an account. We're going to go offline. So we are actually going to go down to the bottom, and we're going to select Offline. And we're going to select a new offline project. Go ahead and name your site, name your project. Next up, over on the right here, we're going to have basic site settings. Everything here is already done. All we're going to do is go ahead and hit Close. Next, we're going to hit Create Design. So under Create Design, we're going to call this new design Finish Grade, because that's what it is, the Finish Grade model. It's going to go on ahead and update this and create our folder structure. Now, under Change Model, we're going to go to User Defined. So by going User Defined, we're able to select everything on the screen. Go on ahead and hit Add. Make sure you hit Add. If you don't hit Add, it will not move it over into the design. We're going to go on ahead and hit Next. Now for our design map, we're going to go on ahead and just add everything as well. So now we have a user-defined setup. We don't have any stakeout points, and we have a design map, so everything you're physically going to see. Now we're going to go on ahead and hit Publish. It's going to say that it's going to put it offline, which is fine. We're going to let it publish. It's going to create some file structure for us, some folders. Now we're going to hit Data to USB. Typically, you're going to have a USB file in your computer. You're going to export to the USB drive directly. In this situation, we're actually just going to send it to our folder we've been working in. And we are going to publish it. It's going to publish a lot of things that we don't necessarily need, but it's the easiest way to do it. So we're going to hit Publish. It's going to do its thing. So once that's complete, what we end up with, wherever you saved it to, you're going to end up with all of these folders. What this is going to allow you to do is export to a GCS 900 system, an Earthworks system, our Trimble SiteWorks, or Trimble Site Vision. So SiteWorks data is actually what goes into our Android-based tablets, and SES 900 data is what goes into our Windows-based tablets. So from there, we can move over to the machine and everything's ready to go.